hello, viewers. Welcome to yet another good episode of To the Fullest. This is a podcast where we say it all, podcast where we just come to learn and just know what goes on in the lives of people, those people who are inspiring us, like my boss here today. Well, boss, I've been never copper built, I've been a copper, I've been a jingoda. My guy,
Yes, Chief. How's it?
how are you?
Good, good. How's it?
I'm good. Long time.
No, it's been long. It's been long.
Long time. You've
Yeah.
left the saga.
Not
Apani mami
really.
wanted a chip, but chingoda.
No.
You're representing the copper belt now.
Yeah, I can say I'm representing the Copper Belt. Yeah. And we are trying. Yeah, we are trying. We are pushing. We are everywhere, in short. Yeah.
Okay. So today, on today's episode, I host Kennedy Mukambo. Those are the the names. Kennedy Mukambo. There's a lot of stuff, but the one I love is that he's the CEO. You know that I just love that he's the CEO. Okay, but before I say much, let me just allow himself to just introduce himself and give a little background about who Joe is. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you so much for hosting me. Yeah, my name's like you mentioned, Kennedy Mukambo. Yeah, I was born and raised from the Copper Belt, and I did my secondary there, my primary there, secondary, until I came here in Lusaka to do my tertiary, and here we are. So I'm someone who's interested in the growth of young people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm someone who's very much interested in the growth of young people because I believe that as young people, we've got the potential to push things, okay? We've got that force that is required for anything to happen. That force is in us, young people. When you talk about anything that you can think about, a young person can do it. So that's why I'm very much interested in that part of life. And an advocate for the growth of young people, and also I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a student. I'm still learning. Because I believe that learning doesn't end.
That's it.
Yeah. So I'm someone who's interested in the growth of young people. That's my interest. Even me being here on earth, I think for now I've even told myself to say I would love to see our age,
Yeah.
our generation develop. I think the moment I will see to say no, young people are growing and they are pushing across borders, I think that would be my greatest happiness.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
today, Kennedy Mukambo
Sure.
is a youth advocate. That's the part I wanted himself to just like elaborate before I say. But second, Joe,
Sure.
before I go much into, I just want to know there's every time we say an advocate, people think an advocate is a politician. But when we say advocacy, it means you have to talk something to do with holding our
Politics.
leaders accountable.
Accountable.
Yeah, maybe you can talk who's an advocate.
Okay, according to my own understanding, an advocate is someone who is interested in something and he tries by all means to bring that thing into existence. Okay? Yeah, so like I mentioned, I believe young people have got the force to move things. Okay? So I come in as an advocate to make sure that young people become up to their full potential
Yeah.
by trying by all means to put things that can help young people
Yeah.
become their best. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I try by all means to advocate for my fellow young people,
Yeah.
so that at least we can push things and we can try by all means to reach our full potential. Exactly. That's the advocacy. That's the aspect that I wanted to elaborate.
So, who is Kennedy as a young child? How was life like growing up?
No, life hasn't been easy. Life hasn't been easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, growing up in a family where there is limited resources, or in short, financial challenges. It mostly brings up that challenge whereby you don't know what will happen tomorrow. You are living by chance, in short. So life hasn't been easy, but God has been faithful. We've been fighting, and we are still fighting until we reach where we want to reach. Exactly. But life hasn't been easy. We've met people, we've been disappointed before. Not what you are thinking. But we've been disappointed before.
I thought one of the provided
No, if you are meeting last. But well, we've met people. Yeah, people have left us. We've been disappointed. We've won. So life hasn't been easy, but God has been faithful. The good part is that every step that we take, every step that we move, we ensure that we put God first, because we understand to say nothing that we can do, that we, we can do everything only through prayer. So we believe in God. That's why we try by all means to do everything according to what God has told us to do. Sure.
Yeah. So, about people leaving us.
Okay.
Um, the, um, as we stand now, our country is just mourning the passing on of our 60th president, Dr. Edgar Chagwa Lungu. May his soul rest in peace.
Okay.
So, to you, Kennedy, as an advocate, what does this loss mean to the nation and the young people in Zambia?
Well, the loss of our 60th president, our former president, has come as a shock, more especially to us young people, because he was someone we looked up to. Okay, so Edgar Lungu was an inspiration to many young people out there. When you look at his life, how he moved up to reach to the highest office in the land, it's it's all inspiration. Okay, so it has come as shocking, and we can't say many things because it's God's will.
Yeah.
We believe to say when the time is right,
Yeah.
God makes it the way He wants things to be. So to us, we can only wish Him. We can only wish that many young people can learn something about the life of our dear 60th Republican president. Sure.
Okay, so now, coming back to youth growth.
Okay.
So when we talk of the growth of young people,
Yeah.
what does it mean to you?
Well, when we talk about the growth of young people, according to my own understanding,
Let me
I think we can be, comrade, we can be having, we can be eating. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the growth of young people, to me, I think it's something that is very, very much important, in the sense that that's what I am interested in. So
Yeah.
when I mention about the growth of young people, I mean young people developing themselves and reaching their full potential in different kinds of life.
Yeah.
So when we talk about skills, talk about education, talk about different aspects of life. Yeah, so seeing young people developing, okay, reaching their full potential, that's what we believe in. Exactly.
So, like in our country, or should I say in our growing countries in Africa,
Okay.
what do you think is the reason, or what do you think as young people are failing to develop or to discover ourselves? What are the limitations out there?
Why we fail to develop. Okay. So there are quite a number of reasons why us young people we fail to cross borders or to reach our full potential. But one thing that I'm interested in, and that one thing that's it's something that I advocate for. You know, as young people, there is one aspect that is too general. That is, we doubt ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we doubt ourselves very much. You know that in any kind of workplace, if there is a young person and an old person, there should be a difference in the way work is being executed.
Yeah.
Okay, but we find that it's opposite, because young people, we doubt ourselves. We think we can't do much. We think we can't reach that level where work or anything can be done 100% a year. So now there is that doubt that is in us. We think we can't do it, in short. So that is the main factor that is causing us not to push hard. That doubt brings one fear, and when we have fear, you find that it's hard even to do things. You find that a person would love to enroll for a medical school. Someone will just tell him to say, hey, yo,
Yeah.
you know how medical school is?
You know anatomy.
You know anatomy. So that person will start thinking, as a result, that person fails to enroll because of what? Fear. But if you give it yourself to say, no, I will do it. Whether Modi anatomy, whether Tamudi anatomy, I will still do it.
Yeah.
You find that definitely things will be easier. Personally, it's a lesson on myself, because, like I mentioned at first, life hasn't been easy. Yeah, it hasn't been easy, and what has led us to reach where we are right now is because of we've removed that fear part. Okay, so me, I believe that I can do anything as long as God has said this thing can be done. As long as I'm here on earth, I can do anything.
So,
Exactly.
do you feel? Do you, which one is yours, comrade?
Comrade, me, I go with this
Yeah.
kind of drinks.
Go for this one. This one?
Yeah.
Yes. My guy, which one are you going for? This one? Okay. So, comrade, do you feel youth in our country failing to live up to that full potential? Is the culture involved? Is it because of our culture, or is just because we young people have just decided not to pay attention to our growth?
No, it's our mindset. I can say it's our mindset. Okay,
Yeah.
we've put that negative, I can say, or negative culture in our mindset.
Yeah.
Okay, because when you talk about leadership,
Yeah.
when it comes to leadership, I believe young people can be best leaders in the sense that they've got everything what it takes to push. Okay, with few older men or older folks within a certain organization, but a majority of young people, you find that work can be done perfectly.
Yeah.
So now, in our country, it's the negative culture that is there, that is hindering us to move as young people. And I think this is something that we should start learning about, so that we change the mindset. That's the thing. And also, as young people, we've reached the point whereby we want nice things, and we are lazy to make sure that we fight for those things. The laziness part is also hindering us. We find that a lot of young people in our country or in Africa haven't done so much well because of just being lazy. Okay, we are lazy. Last time I was joking with my good comrade Dimpundu, that as young people, I can be employed by someone to say, you be coming here to sleep. You go for work 8 hours. They tell you to say sleep. You sleep 18 hours. They wake you up.
Yeah.
you knock off. You can only work for one, this generation, that such a person can only work for 1 month and you'll start complaining. I think niko na maningi. I think, you see,
I'm
the
tired
same,
of sleeping.
I'm tired of sleeping.
Yeah.
That's a fact. That's how, that's the culture that we've developed as young people. And also you find that someone can be employed, a complaint will still come. Why? Because we want to enjoy, but we don't want to put in. So the laziness part comes in. Exactly.
So do you feel, as in young people, do you feel all of us have the same information, the same access to opportunity like everybody else? Or maybe society and status are separated. That's why some of us fail, or some people fail to discover who they are.
Okay, so you touched on the opportunity part.
Yeah.
I would love to comment one thing about that. It is so unfortunate that currently you find that
Yeah.
us young people we are complaining too much about opportunities. Okay,
Yeah.
so now opportunities can't just come and find me like this and I jump on them. Okay, opportunities goes to those who prepare. So there's a preparation aspect. What I want to be 20 years from now, I have to prepare it now.
Yeah.
Every person who has succeeded, it's not a success that just came like like an accident. Someone is having a lot of dollars in his account. No, there's a preparation aspect. I'll give you an example. Me, I'm someone who has got these people as they inspire me. I'm inspired by many people that have done great things. But when I look at their stories, I find that there was a preparation part. So they underwent a period where they prepared for those things. So now you can question, that there are people like our age who doesn't even know how to register a company with background.
Just talking about it's like,
That's a real thing.
yeah.
It's happening. Just
Yeah,
our,
absolutely.
our
It's a
yes,
trend now. But
someone he doesn't know how to register a company with background. Someone doesn't even have anything in his mind to say, "Oh, one day I think I should have a company." Such.
mhm.
So we are not preparing ourselves for opportunities. Last time I was telling, we were discussing with my good colleague. We were saying to say, if I want to become a boss in the next 10 years,
Yeah.
owning properties, owning companies, it's now that I should prepare for those.
Mhm.
Because a deal can come to say, oh, comrade, there's a project this side. Can you jump on it? How can you jump on it while you don't even have a bank account? You see? You find that
No,
it's rough.
I have a fun story about that. Huh?
Mm,
Not really having a company.
mm.
So I was attending a certain seminar.
Yes.
And then this speaker, the river to just said, he just pointed one of us. He said, "You come here." The person went there. So when the person went there, he said, "I have 5,000 I want to share with you now.
Yes.
So the only thing I want to do is for you to tell me your account now."
Exactly.
And this person,
Opportunities.
they
You
have the
see?
bank account, but they don't know their account now.
Exactly.
So
It's a
he was
challenge.
talking about this and so you see, you have a bank account, but you don't even know.
No,
So that's how you
yes.
people miss opportunity.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. You find that we, 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 we are not ready for these opportunities, but yet we complain. Okay? I'll give you my example, just my personal example. Me, I started dreaming of becoming a CEO way back when I was back in secondary. I was thinking, what if I become my own boss? You see, this has been a dream way back, but because of life, we've tried by all means. Personally, in my own name, I've registered about three companies in different fields. It's not just about
I
registering.
know.
It's good that you know one. It's not just about registering those things. It's a process whereby you are preparing for something that you don't you just have the faith and hope to say, one day Ikadila. Ikadila. Okay. Because you can just end up phone call. Hey, comrade, my leader. There's this project ep20. Can you jump on it? Comrade, what's needed? Oh, I think there's just need the company, your company profile. You submit with everything. So they will just go through. I think this person is ready for this. And the moment such things start happening in one's life, even the growth moves at a pace where people can even start asking to say, but this leader, we just used to see him passing here, passing here. Yeah, they were alive. That's how things is.
So, comrade, you've been a youth advocate,
Yeah.
and you've talked about you focusing on the development of young people. So we've seen young people out there, oh, they have the potential, they do the work, but they complain to say every time they work, people above them, like they use them. So as an advocate, like how are you helping like young people? So how you develop yourself? This is how you protect yourself from being used.
Again, the challenge that is there within us is the fact that we know that we can do things. We forget the aspect of advice. You know, as we grow, the best person, the best growth that we can have is that of one who's open to advice. Okay, I'll give you an example. I can be a young person full of energy, full of strength, with a lot of papers, but if I'm not open to advice, more especially from the older folks, because they've got experience, you find that it can be hard for me to put through. And coming back to your question, where you feel working under someone is a bit challenging.
Not really working under someone, but for example, here is me with a business proposal,
Okay.
a profile, I've prepared myself.
Okay.
Then I'm like you said, there are people who inspire you. Then I go to this person, hey sir, this is my plan, this is what I want to do. Then the person's like, no, I think work hard, improve. Then after leaving, I see the same person doing the same stuff for me. Like I want to be open. I've reached out to some people to say, hey, I've written this kind of article. What do you think? I've seen like big pages come like online.
Yeah, yeah.
The same thing I send them, they're like, no, this is not good. Then they'll get the same. Or sometimes
share.
I'll publish something on my account, then I'll see the same thing on a bigger page.
Bigger.
When I inbox, I'm like, hey, you took my thing, I don't mind, but where's just the credit? They'll be like, nothing you can do for us. That has happened to me a lot of time. You can do nothing, but that's because we are big.
Oh yeah.
So those situations, how do I protect myself as a young person? Because that's just a discouraging, trust me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So from my personal experience, it was so painful. A bigger
In the
page,
sense,
you
yeah,
get
yeah.
my art, which I've written, get my even the same pictures I've used. Then they'll even delete maybe your name if you put your name at the file. Like, please just the credit, just say, okay, this is why you've gotten the information.
Exactly.
Okay,
Exactly.
yeah.
Oh yeah. No, on that one, it's really, it comes as, like you've mentioned, it's so painful. You find that you've put in so much, then someone, just because those
They're
people
already
are big,
established,
they're well established, they jump on it, and you use that, and the people definitely will be, the glory goes to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think if you've managed, like in your case, the fact that you managed to reach to one of those people who did that, it was good. But what I can just advise is to continue doing what you love. Okay? Like you've mentioned, a post. You create something, you publish a post. Someone gets it and shares. It shouldn't discourage you the fact that something has happened. You know, for you to reach where you want to reach, a lot of challenges comes in. So those can just be one of those that can even just disturb you so that you can stop. Okay?
Yeah, yeah.
But as a young person, like we mentioned, you just have the courage to move forward. If it happens today, tomorrow, make something else. Again, you harm. Just like that. I think that's the way to go about it. But it shouldn't be like, even you, when you become big, you start doing what those people are doing to you.
Yeah.
The fact that you are established now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how can you define success for youth?
Successful youth.
Yeah, someone will say, "Yeah, this dude
This-
is successful."
Aripisha.
Artificial, that's the fine.
Oh yeah, no, but I think
Or should I
success.
say, should I call you a successful youth?
Why do you say?
You
What,
know,
eh,
you know, no fun, sir. Should I call you a
no,
successful youth?
personal, I would say, according to my own understanding of success,
Yeah.
I think it can be wrong if I can say I'm successful because I don't have what I want to have.
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't gotten what the level where I want to reach. I haven't reached, but I just have to. At the moment, I just have to appreciate God and give Him praises because He has managed to reach me where I am. Okay, there
Yeah.
are people who haven't even reached where we are.
Mm-hmm.
Life is in different ways. You find that some people just being in Lusaka
It's an
to
achievement.
one, it's an achievement,
Yeah, it's an
and
achievement.
there are some people maybe going out of this country is an achievement. So success comes at a different in different ways. But one thing what we just need to do is give thanks to God and also continue pushing. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's the thing.
That's success.
Mm.
So in short, what you said is success is something you can only define by yourself. What
Exactly.
does it mean to you? Is
Yes.
it success because you have good health or
Such things.
physique or little stuff? Because someone laughed at me just a few days ago. You know what I did? Huh?
Mm.
I woke up in the morning, I was just like, today the only thing I want to do is I'll make sure I view all the status of my contact. Like,
Mm.
and I sat there for 3 hours watching, and I had to check over 300 statuses. I cleared everything, and I made a post to say, at least today I've achieved my little goal.
Mm.
I've managed to view everyone's
Everyone.
status today, and it's taken me 3 hours, and the person was like, you love wasting your time. How is that a goal?
So
I
yeah.
was like, no, it's a matter
So
of
meaning
discipline.
There was something that you wanted
Yeah,
to achieve
just to
at the end
clear
of
to
it.
say,
Yes,
just
exactly.
discipline to say, can I do this?
Mm.
Because sometimes I was like, for me, I felt like, okay, today I've checked up everybody.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And it also helped me to, like, I think this line is no longer important in my life. I
Exactly,
got to
exactly.
delete some, like, what do I have it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. That's the thing.
That's I think that's really awesome, man. But
Exactly.
comrade, I want you to what's your word of advice? You know, nowadays,
Mhm.
you know, where there's social media, people want to be seen, Instagram, you know, the glory.
Yes.
What's your advice to someone there who are they're just trying to start up their life and they want to show it to everybody? You know,
Exactly.
every little achievement you post. I know, yeah, there's a thing of marketing yourself, and some business to survive, you need media. I know
Exactly.
there are people that are rushing for cars, uh, outings.
Materialistic
Yeah, what's your
things.
advice
Okay.
to people starting young people starting their lives or building their brands or businesses?
Oh yeah. So
Because I know you've been in business for some time and your business is doing okay. So what's your advice? What escape to go with?
okay, so to start with the advice, I think I would love to use this. There's a Bible verse that I use most of the time when I'm doing things.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, yeah.
whenever I want to do things, there's a Bible verse that
Please
I
share with me.
reflect, yeah, on. So it is First Timothy 4 verse 12.
It's not chapter
Yeah.
4,
So the Bible says, "Let no one despise you for your youth,
yeah.
but set the believers an example in speech,
Please.
in conduct, in love, in faith, and in purity."
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a Bible verse that is for us young people.
Yeah.
Whatever we do, we should know that it will bring repercussions after. Okay.
Yeah.
So as a young person, don't just live without reason why you are living
Yeah.
or without purpose. Okay.
Yeah.
This life, this is where we have everything and every muscle, every strength to push things out there. I read a status by Jackson Sambalanga. He posted something on his WhatsApp last time saying, we say happy 30th birthday. I don't know if you saw it. Happy 30th birthday or happy plus one. We forget to say we forget to understand that it's not happy plus one. It's actually happy minus one.
Yeah,
Because where we are going,
you are removing, you're not
yes, we are
increasing.
not adding. Okay. So as a young person, we should have that in mindset. Why am I living? You should have a purpose why you are living. Okay. One, like we read, set the believers an example. One, in conduct. How's your conduct as a young person? You need to be, there should be a difference between a young person here and an old person or someone who has lived much. Because you have got a purpose why you are living at that particular time. Okay? So we need to put ourselves in a position that we understand why we are living on earth. Okay? Because honestly, to tell the truth, life, with how I've just lived just now, I've seen that life is very short. And if we don't utilize our time, we find this generation, if we don't utilize this time, we find that the generations to come will be affected because of ourselves. Because nowadays you find that our age group is just something else. Okay? Lazy, failing to push, every time complaining, show off, want materialistic things so fast at an early age. You know, as a result, we are forgetting that those things are coming with repercussions. Yeah. So, as a young person, I think the best advice that I can advise, that I can give is that let's set an example to people out there that in the way one we live, the way in our conduct, in the way we do things, in the way we work, in the way we do business, in the way we, you know, that will give us at least 20, 30 years from now, people should come and say to say, oh no, these are the leaders. These people prepared for this life, such things. Exactly.
As we come to a closing,
Okay.
my first question would be, what would be your advice to, if you met a 7-year-old Kennedy now, what advice would you give him from what you've learned so far?
If I met
Your
seven,
7-year-old self.
advice can be hard looking at where the world has reached now.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just the best advice can be, you know, just to be strong.
Yeah.
You know, I believe me, how I do things. I believe only the strong can survive.
Yeah.
Exactly. More especially in this generation. Because if you are not strong, to tell the truth, it's rough. So if I met a 7-year-old Kennedy right now, I can just tell him, say, hey, comrade, this life that you have come in, just be strong.
Yeah.
And you shall survive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Sure.
Yeah, so there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Today at Kennedy, we're not talking anything about his life or my life. We're just talking about the life as young people. You know, sometimes it's important to meet as young people and just talk about ourselves, our
Exactly.
growth, and
Yeah,
just see, learn from each other. It's important to them from the grown, but it's also important to them from ourselves.
Sure.
How we dealing with matters, because I understand what is going through, I understand what I'm going through, and we have the same goal, which is to meet at the top.
Exactly.
Comrade, what's your last words to the viewers and those people who do your works, and how can they find you?
To the viewers, thank you so much for joining us. Otherwise, it has been good having this wonderful conversation. Yeah, so my names, like I mentioned, my users are Kennedy Joe Mukambo on Facebook, Kennedy Joe Mukambo on Instagram, Kennedy Joe Mukambo on Twitter, on X. Uh, I'm found within Lusaka. That's where I'm based, doing some few works.
Representing Copper Belt.
Representing Copper Belt. Home is Chingola. So we are here doing one or two things, and God has been faithful. We appreciate. We really thank God for that. Well, until next time, thank you so much for joining us.
Okay, so this one was for the young people out there. Please remember to work on yourself, remember to build yourself, remember to build your brand before you take it out there, because the moment you put it out there, you allow the public view or the public comment. And trust me, it's not always good. So if you are ready to go in the public, be strong. Otherwise, I have been your host, Ivan Mabeba Bada, and my cameraman, Samis SK. Until next time, bye bye.
Thank you so much.